Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm Alan Horton, the radio play-by-play voice of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Thank you to those in attendance here at Target Center, including our special guests from the Boys and Girls Club, Twin Cities Southside Village. Great to have you here today. Also, thanks to everyone watching live on Bally Sports North, NBA TV, and Timberwolves.com. Those of you listening on 830 WCCO, the home of the Timberwolves and the Timberwolves Radio Network, and those of you joining us today via Zoom. We're excited to welcome the newest addition to the Twin Cities and the Timberwolves family. Earlier today, the Wolves made it official, announcing the acquisition of All-NBA center Rudy Gobert. Rudy comes to Minnesota as one of the most decorated big men in recent NBA history, a three-time Kia NBA Defensive Player of the Year, six-time All-Defensive First-Team selection, four times All-NBA, and a three-time All-Star. A native of Saint-Quentin in France, Rudy has played the last two Olympics for the French national team, leading them to a silver medal in the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo. With the Utah Jazz last season, Rudy averaged 16 points a game on a career-best 71% shooting, which led the NBA. His 15 rebounds per game also led the NBA and also were a career best, and his 2.1 blocks per game marked the 8th consecutive year that he's averaged 2 or more blocks per game. Along with Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell, Jaden McDaniels, plus new additions in Kyle Anderson and Bryn Forbes, the acquisition of Rudy Gobert gives the Wolves a deep and talented roster heading into the upcoming season. To tip off today's press conference, we'll get some words from Tim Conley, Timberwolves President of Basketball Operations, Chris Finch, Timberwolves head coach. Then we'll hear from Rudy, and then open it up to questions from the assembled media. Tim?
Thanks for coming out, especially the Boys and Girls Club. You guys look great. The tunnel was awesome. Super exciting day for the organization. It's not often you get a player of Rudy's caliber and more importantly, a person of Rudy's caliber. This industry is about relationships and about kind of knowing what you're going to get. And this guy is about as good as it gets as a professional. His work ethic is second to none. His desire to win is elite. And to add him to an already strong young core is a really special day. I also want to thank the guys. Anytime you make a trade, you have to give to get. And we lost some really good players. Pat Beverly brought a huge culture boost to this team. He's fantastic. Jared Vanderbilt's one of the best young power forwards in the league. Malik Beasley, what he can do and how important he was to this team. And Balmero's a good young player. And certainly Kessler, we're here a week ago doing his press conference. But it's the nature of this game. Sometimes you have to give good players good players. So thanks to those guys for all the contributions they made. Just tremendously excited when his name first popped up. It seemed more of a dream than a reality. And as the discussions ramped up and we thought there was a chance we could add Rudy, the excitement level collectively for Chris and the front office and throughout the entire organization was kind of, wow, we can get this done. We got to get it done. So thank you for being who you are as a professional. Thank you for being so excited to be here. I think that's a really cool part of this whole day. Rudy's excited to be a Timberwolf. He's excited to be a resident of Minnesota. And, this is a really special day. So thanks.
Chris?
Yeah, I'd also like to welcome everybody and thank Rudy. I think, he's the perfect fit at the perfect time for our organization. It's not often you get a chance to add somebody who brings such a level of professionalism, maturity, and experience alongside a young core who fits seamlessly into what we need and what we need most. And I know the excitement is building among the teammates in the group chat, and the relationship between Karl and Anthony and D'Lo and those guys are only going to get stronger and stronger. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to nurture. But we needed to do something. We felt that yet last year we laid a great foundation. We didn't want to go backwards from it. You got to have a guy who comes in here and is able to impact both ends of the floor. And just, again, fits seamlessly alongside what we already have and brings a maturity and a professionalism and an approach and an experience and a worldliness that a young team really needs is something that I'm very excited to start to see grow and grow.
Rudy?
Just really excited to be here. I mean, thank you, Tim, for believing in me and putting me in this amazing situation. I want to win, you know. And when Buna told me 3 days before the trade, Buna is my agent. He told me that team in Minnesota was interested. I told him that I needed 1 or 2 days to think about it, and after 1 day, I came back to him and I told him that, you know, it was probably the best, the most exciting situation in terms of basketball for me. And you know, and a day later, the trade happened. So I'm just excited to do some great work with the community. Excited to, you know, I think this city has some great fans because I've seen them, you know, talking to me on Twitter for 9 years. So I know they do. And yeah, I'm excited to be playing with, you know, some really talented young players. And obviously, Kat is a tremendous player and very unique. So, you know, I can't even imagine all the things that we're going to be able to do on the floor, and you know, and all the great things that I'm going to do for this community, and you know, to make Minnesota a better place. So, thank you guys, and yeah, really excited.
We'll open it up to some questions now. We've got a couple of microphones being passed around. If you could state your name and your affiliation before asking your question. Chris, want to get us going?
Chris Hine from the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Rudy, you said you needed a day or two to kind of think on it. What were you thinking about when you heard that Minnesota was interested? Were you surprised, and kind of how did you analyze how the fit was going to be here?
Surprised. I mean, that definitely wasn't one of the teams at first that we knew was really interested. So it was obviously me and Kat have been going at it for many years, and we're very unique and different players. So definitely, I was like, the first time that Buna told me, I was like, can that work? And then I was thinking about it every day. You know, when I was going to bed, I was thinking about it more and more, and then I was like, actually, that's probably the most exciting challenge for me. You know, pair with a guy like Kat, and you know, in an organization like the Timberwolves, that I think really wants to win and is willing to do whatever it takes to win. And I couldn't hope for a better situation, a most exciting situation, and it just happened, you know, and I'm really, really excited to be here.
Do you think it's the differences between you and Carl's games that'll enable you to fit well on both ends of the floor?
For sure, and we're going to be very unique. I don't think there's going to be another team that is going to be able to bring to the table what we're going to bring to the table, and my goal is really to, you know, make Carl even a better player on both ends, and make his life easier and allow him to be even better than he already is. And I think his presence is going to do the same for me. And same with those young guys. I mean, Anthony Edwards, he's been growing and improving year after year, and he's one of the most exciting young players in this league. So I'm really excited to play alongside him, and D'Angelo Russell and McDaniels, that's a tremendous defender. So it's, you know, just a very unique core of young guys, and a really good coach that complains about my screens all the time. So now we're on the same side, so I'm excited.
John Krasinski here from The Athletic. Rudy, when you look at coming to Minnesota after 9 years in Utah, the only place you had been, what do you anticipate just that transition from one organization that you kind of grew up with to an entirely new and different one? And do you see some excitement in a new challenge that way, and just a newness and a uniqueness to things?
Just a lot of excitement, you know, and obviously Utah is, you know, that's the only team I played for 9 years, and you know, I've had some amazing memories, and I'm really, really grateful for all the time that I spent there and all the great relationships that I've built there and that are going to stay there, and all the, you know, I mean, it's my family, and you know, that is never going to change. But having the opportunity to just the challenge, you know, the challenge of coming to a team and try to take that team to the next level, and yeah, just discover a new state, discover a new community. You know, it's just a lot of excitement, and it's pretty new to me because I've been in Utah for 9 years. But it's just an amazing moment for me, and every day is going to be, you know, a lot of excitement to meet the new people, you know, see the places in Minnesota, and you know, and I love nature too, so You know, it's different than the mountains. It's more lakes, but it's still amazing for me, and I'm just really exciting.
Joe Schmidt from Channel 5. Tim, you've only been here a short time, but you already have your legacy. Whatever happens, the outcome of this trade is your legacy. When you pulled the trigger on this trade with all you had to give up, was there any hesitation, or did you just say, now's the window to go for it?
I think there's, you're never certain. It's an inexact science. But when you look at players of Rudy's abilities, they don't become available very often. And I think he's a guy, to Chris's point, I think he's a seamless fit both culturally and on the court in terms of what he can bring to us as a player and as a person. We're trying to develop winning ways, and we're trying to develop into a sustainable team that can enjoy win at the highest level. And he's seen that. He's seen it at the national team. He's obviously multi-time Defensive Player of the Year. This guy's going to be a Hall of Famer. So, I've been in the NBA a long, long time, and there's only been a handful of those types of calls, those types of players that you think can become actionable. Again, we gave up some really good players. We lost some guys that were unbelievably impactful on kind of changing this culture, and we saw how fun last year was. So it's never easy. You don't want to be dismissive of the guys you have to give up. Obviously, a lot of draft capital, but when you get a call like the one we got about Rudy, you pretty quickly realize how unique the situation is, and you want to be as aggressive as possible. And when you look at the collection of players we have, it's there's great depth. Chris is an elite coach, so when you have great depth, elite high-end talent, and you add a guy like Rudy, it's hard not to get excited, and it's hard not to be not overly risk averse and kind of throw your chips in a bit.
Jace Frederick, Pioneer Press. Rudy, you talked about fitting alongside Cat. When you guys went up against one another, you really presented unique challenges for one another. So how much do you think the two of you can kind of continue to raise one another's game, even just in practice on a daily basis?
I think, like I said, I think we both really unique. We both bring different things to the table, and I really think we can complement each other on both ends and make each other better on both ends. And if you would have told me that a year ago, I would tell you that I wouldn't think it would happen. But now that it came to life, like I said, I'm super excited, and just being able to allow him to be himself even more, to be even more dominant, and keep him out of foul trouble, keep him, also share my knowledge and him share his knowledge. I think it can only be a positive for our team, and I think we're going to be able to do a lot of things. Coach going to be able to do a lot of cool things, and there's a lot of things that we're going to learn on the fly, organically, and just his passing, his shooting, his skill set, that's very unique for someone his size. All that, for me, I think I'm going to be able to allow him to be even greater, and allow our team to win at the highest level. And the goal is to win a championship, and I came here for that. I didn't come here just to be a good team. I came here to try to take this team to the finals and accomplish that. So, I'm going to do whatever I can to help these guys take the next step and help this team take the next step.
Pierre Nugent, Fox 9, right here, Rudy. Salut, bienvenue. What is it going to take to get this team to the next level? You mentioned the next level. In your mind, what does that look like, and what does that require from yourself and the teammates around you now?
I think just keep building great habits, winning habits, and a winning culture. And I think they started doing that last year. I think I played a team that was different than the team that I played the years before, in terms of, their will to win. And even though they swept us the year before. But yeah, their will to win, I felt like was different. And the culture and the way they were approaching the games, I felt like something has changed. And you got to give credit to these guys like Pat Beverly and all these guys that brought some grit to that team. I think my goal is to bring that and also be a leader for these guys and build the habits, and we've talked about it with Coach, that's, offensively you got to have fun, and we got a lot of guys that can do a lot of good things offensively, and then build those winning habits defensively, and and play as a team. You know, just enjoy each other and enjoy winning.
Dane Miller, Blue Wire. Rudy, in terms of Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell, what do you think you can do to help further unlock their games as players playing next to you?
First of all, get them open. You know, I think you know, the spacing that we get for them with my screening, with my rim gravity when I roll to the basket, and also my passing that I think, you know, I'm going to be able to showcase even more this year. You know, all those things I think going to allow them to be even better, and that coupled obviously with the spacing that Cat is going to provide, and I think the way we're going to play, you know, I think they're going to be able to get a lot of more easy looks that they've been able to get the previous years, and just they haven't been throwing a lot of lobs over the last few years, but I think now, you know, we're going to work on that, and it's another weapon that, you know, I think is really hard to guard, and I'm really excited. There's so many things, obviously, that we can talk about that we're going to be able to do on the floor, and that's what's going to make us unique, is that we're going to be able to have so many different weapons and so many different ways of playing together, you know, that it's going to be fun.
Britt Robson with MinPost for Coach Finch. You get a guy like Rudy Gobert, obviously some pretty fundamental changes in both the way you play offense and defense. Last year, you prioritized defense in preseason. I'm just wondering if you thought about how you're going to prioritize this preseason with Rudy on board.
Well, I think certainly Rudy's a defensive microcosm unto himself. You know, I think we're going to have to build a system that's flexible enough to be able to take on the different looks that we're going to see. Some of that's going to happen as we go along. Some of it we can prepare for. Offensively, I don't see a whole lot changing, honestly. The way that we play, we stick to our main points. Our philosophy never changes. We think that he fits perfectly inside of what we already do. We feel like he probably can do some things that maybe hasn't been asked to do before. What we love is the dynamic between him and Cat. Will now force teams to choose a little bit more about how they want to guard one or the other. And then we're going to have to figure out, you know, how we exploit that. And that's the fun part. That's what the rest of the summer is going to be like for our staff.
He's been primarily a pick-and-roll player or a screener. When you say things that he hasn't been doing before, what things are you thinking about?
Well, I think, you know, handling the ball at the top of the floor, in the flow of our offense. We feel that some big-to-big dynamic that Cat's an outstanding passer. And we feel like we can maybe operate in the pocket with both of them and operate in the short roll with both of them. And also just, you know, work on some dynamic spacing, moving them around.
Chris, what did you not like about Rudy's screens?
They look like they hurt. But they were great.
Tim, you touched on it a little bit at the start, but to find an all-NBA level player that wants to be in Minnesota, like how did you kind of investigate that part of it, and how big of a role does that play in the decision to bring him in here?
I think what I found in the league is you want guys that want to be here. It's hard to convince people otherwise. You know, you're kind of fighting an uphill battle if you have to talk them to come and work every day and with a smile on their face. You know, I've watched Rudy play since he was, 16 years old, so I had a familiarity with how much winning meant to him. Super lucky that Boone has been a long-time friend, so just kind of keeping up with him, and obviously being in the same division with Utah, you see him all the time, and you realize how much better he got each and every year. And when we were, a couple weeks ago, we put names on the board of who we thought were elite guys that are difference makers, and it's a very small list. Luckily, we have a couple of those guys on our team. So when you're able to add a difference maker and not, trade a guy in that kind of similar tier, it's so rare. So when we started having those discussions, more specifically, his name kept popping up. We're hugely fortunate that we have Chris as a coach, because Chris is so creative, and he's able to He was so excited when we talked about the potential addition, and he starts whiteboarding and what it might look like if we were to add Rudy. So collectively, as the discussions developed, we said, we're not going to have many chances to get a guy like this in his prime. Rudy's, obsessed with his body, obsessed with his game. He's such a professional and how he takes care of himself. You're always trying to project and prognosticate, but it's best guesses, right? We don't know. It's all speculative. But we didn't think we get a call like this for a long, long, long time. And the final thing that I think is as impactful as of the obvious tools that Rudy brings is he doesn't inhibit anything we have presently. He makes it better. He augments what we have presently. So when you look at fit, it's not just about talent. It's about kind of developing a team. And when you see Cat and you see D'Lo and you see Ant, these guys, he's just going to make them better without kind of putting a roadblock on some of the natural progression we've seen the last couple of years. So collectively, all those things are unbelievably hard to find. And when we were able to pull the trigger, we were excited to do so.
Hey, Rudy, Darren Wolfson from Channel 5. Alan laid out your accolades. Tim said you're a Hall of Famer. Do you have a sense of why you're sitting here? Why Utah was willing to trade you?
That's a good question. I think, obviously losing Quinn. Quinn was there for 8 years, was a big part of what we were doing. There's sometimes the window for winning is not always big. And then for us in Utah, that's kind of what happened. I think the organization felt like that. We had maybe passed that window that we had over the last few years. And I think they're still obviously going to be a very competitive team, but they just felt like with all the assets that they could get with me, that it was better for them to go that way. And, and I think it could potentially be a win-win situation when, they also put me in a great situation to win. And for me, that's why I'm really grateful for that, that they put me on a team that I can, keep flourishing and hopefully win a championship. And for them, I really hope that they're going to be able to, to get better and better and hopefully, get to that stage that we were a few years ago, even though we didn't pass the second round, but we were first in the West. And, I think, it doesn't happen often. And so it's never easy, like Tim said, it's always speculative. You never know what's right, what's wrong, and sometimes you're going to make decisions. And that's what they did, and I'm still really grateful for that, and I'm grateful that he put me in a position to win.
Kind of piggybacking off that, Rudy, you talked about the different ways in which you might be used here and the different talented teammates you have. At this point in your career, is it exciting to come somewhere new and think about new possibilities that maybe didn't exist in the past?
For sure, and it's really exciting, and I'm the type of guy that was thinking early on that it would be cool to spend my whole career in the same place. But I also always wonder how cool it would be to get to a new place and in a new system and a new environment. So it's kind of like, it's whatever happens, it's positive. And once again, I spent 9 amazing years in Utah. We built something that was really unique, and that is never going to go away. Even though we didn't win a championship, I think those years were, great years in terms of winning. We won the most games in the last 4 years in the NBA. So it's, even though there's no ring at the end, it's still a pretty cool accomplishment. And now it's like all those years and all that grind is, made me a better player, a better person. And now I get in a new situation when hopefully I can, like I said, take this team to where we want to be, where this team wants to be. And that's really, really exciting.
Chris, I heard the word seamlessly several times on the transition. Is that simplifying it a little bit? I mean, this is going to take a while for everybody to know, how to put this puzzle together a little bit, isn't it?
Well, yeah, there's no shortcutting the work, but we don't think it's an awkward fit at all. Every team is different as you put it together every preseason. Oftentimes what you plan for maybe in the off season isn't 100% right. Might take 20 games to get it right or to get the right rhythm. It's an 82-game season. Things are going to happen along the way that we're going to have to come up with answers for. But we see from a basketball perspective, no reason at all why it won't work.
Anyone else? All right, we'll have a photo opportunity here with Rudy and Tim and Chris. All right, that will conclude today's press conference. Thank you to Tim Conley and Chris Finch, and of course, Rudy Gobert. Welcome to the Wolves. Tim and Chris will be available in a media scrum off to my left here in just a matter of moments. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.